Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome in Republican State Representative from Grants Pass, Carl Wilson. Carl, good to see you. Thanks for being here today. So let me start with last month's election. What are your thoughts on what happened statewide?
Well, I wish that we had exerted more influence in the House of Representatives. I would like to have seen more Republicans ascend to some seats there. But it didn't happen. It remains 35-25 in the House. It would have been a lot more fun for us had we had more members.
Makes sense. Now, one of the things we've heard from legislators on the Republican side before is that Democrats aren't including them. They feel, my words, not theirs, railroaded. Yeah. Do you hope that there's more bipartisanship this coming session?
Well, I would certainly like that, but I don't know why they would be compelled to do that. They don't need to do that. In many ways, we don't even need to show up for the statewide scene. But we certainly do for our own home districts. And so that's where I find redemption in the process, what I can do for my own district.
What are your priorities for this coming session for you and your district?
Well, for my district, it's really going to be about cannabis and industrial hemp. We never know which direction our careers will take, and I found myself appointed to the Measure 91 committee, and as a result of that, and it was a perfect match for Josephine County, I got to work on that committee for 2 sessions now to try to make sense out of legalization. It was an unbelievable opportunity to escort something out of prohibition. Then there's industrial hemp, which is a plant with a great future, I think, in Josephine County. So those are 2 programs that I want to continue to work on to try to make sense out of those. I think in a larger scope, we're going to be called on to look at a lot of budget issues. Obviously, the budget is king right now, and how we respond to that is important.
The governor released her budget or proposed budget yesterday. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's a big hole. There's $1.5 billion hole to deal with, and I suspect that we're going to have to agree on many of the cuts or the efficiencies that we can find out of a $20 billion budget. Where we will disagree will probably be respecting revenue raising or increased taxation, as it's known as.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Republican State Representative Carl Wilson from Grants Pass. So you're as a resident, of course, of Josephine County. What are your thoughts on the 5 public safety levies rejected in the last 4 years?
Well, people don't want to pay taxes. I mean, they're already paying taxes. They don't want to pay additional tax. And I think they're making that very plain in Josephine County. We're used to a different way of life where timber paid the way. There are many people who think that it still can come back and add something. But we're going to simply have to find a combination that works for us sooner or later. We've got to keep the jail open. That's the most important thing. And so if ultimately we have kept the jail open and we have funded the DA, I think we will have made great strides. There may be some ways out there that funding will come that we're not aware of yet. We got to remain open to that and pursue those things. But through a property tax, I don't see that happening anytime soon in Josephine County, because as a people, we're not undertaxed.
As obviously a legislator, do you see, or can you even envision a scenario where the legislature has to get involved in this?
Well, I've done my best to stop the legislature getting involved 2 times, and I anticipate doing that again. I think it's a local solution. It needs to come from local people, and I am adamantly against the state weighing in trying to run some kind of law enforcement system in Josephine County.
You were in the legislature, you left and went back to your radio business in Grants Pass, and then back to the legislature. What led you to that decision?
Well, a couple of things. One, I was asked to go back, and when I got to thinking about it, and I was asked to go back because of a talent drain, they needed some people with experience. I got to reflecting on what I'd learned 14 years ago in the process, and learned a lot. I was in the majority party at that time, and I thought that I could add some perspective to what the legislature is doing now versus what we used to do back in those days. So that really led me to come back, and glad I did. Although in the minority, I love being there.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
My pleasure.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.